Hello, welcome to your second C++ tutorial.
So friends, now let's see what are the rules for naming identifiers. Now we actually know that this compiler is a stickler for rules. He will report an error if these rules are not followed. But there's one thing that I would like to tell you which is not actually a rule but just an important point. That while naming a variable, you can use alphabets, small or capital, digits and underscore, but not special characters, means full stop, comma, plus, minus, asterisk, etc. Right? These are not allowed. So here comes rule number 1. Identifier can only begin with an alphabet or underscore, or we can say that it cannot begin with a digit. Special characters are anyways not allowed within an identifier in any case. Means in short that the first character should be a letter. For instance, among SOM 12, 12 SOM and SA12 the only incorrect option is 12 SOM, as the first character is 1, which is a digit, and rest are correct because they begin with a letter, right? Rule number 2, it can begin with an underscore, and underscore even can be used anywhere within the identifier, though being a special character. It's an exception. It is used in case, suppose if I want to keep an identifier name that is a combination of many words, then I can use an underscore to separate the words. For example, peaceful environment. Now I cannot use space to separate these words as space is a special character and it's not allowed. Underscore is also a special character but it's an exception. So in the example you can see that the last one is incorrect as it has a special character. Rule number 3. There should be no special character within an identifier. I just told you about that. Special characters means characters other than letters, digits and underscore. That is full stop, comma, asterisk, plus, minus, etc. So in this example, the last one is correct as it has no special characters, right? Rule number 4. It should not be a reserved keyword. Very important rule. The programming language has already reserved some words for its use, so you can't use them, right? That's why they are reserved. These are the keywords. So among these, all except standard are invalid identifiers, as break, false, if, for, all are keywords. Now let us try it yourself. You have to find out the valid identifiers. Pause the video to see them patiently. So the answers are, you can see them. Friends, for, volatile, break, continue, delete, no doubt are keywords. But you must always remember that C++ is a case-sensitive language. And these are keywords only in small letters. And I have written all of them in capital. So now they are identifiers. And the other two words have a hyphen in between. So they are invalid identifiers, as hyphen is a special character. I must tell you friends that questions regarding picking the valid identifiers always come in many examinations. In class 12 CBSE examination for computer science, first part of the first question always asks you to pick up the valid identifiers. And that's of 2 marks. So isn't it easy? Hey friends, now in this tutorial we are going to study another type of tokens, punctuators. Punctuators. Now you must be thinking about the need to study this topic because you all know about them. Full stop, comma, question mark, you know what's their use. So why we are going to study about them in C++? But friends, I'm not going to tell you what different types of punctuators do we have in our English language. I'm just going to tell you what role are they assigned in C++ language. Each one has its own importance. But friends, there's one thing that you should really know. That this is a very basic tutorial. You won't be able to understand the usage of all the punctuators. because to understand it, you need to know some large topics that will be covered later on. You can yourself imagine that a 2 or 3 years old child learns the alphabet first. He does not know why he is learning that, but he still learns it. But before teaching the alphabet, if I give him a storybook, then he won't understand anything. Similarly, at this point of time, you won't be able to understand their usage. So I suggest you to have a look at these punctuators, and as we will start coding, you will automatically realize their importance. Okay? So first one is brackets or square brackets. These are used for single and multi-dimensional array subscripts. Now see friends, array is itself a huge topic and you might get confused even if I just explain you its definition only. So have patience and leave it for the time being. Then we have parentheses for function call and parameters. Functions again is a huge topic. Then braces for starting and ending of a compound statement. Comma, separator in function argument list. Semicolon, executable statement terminator. Colon for labeled statement. Asterisk, pointer declaration and multiplication operator. Yes, it is also an operator which is another type of token and used for multiplication. Equal to, like asterisk, it is not only a punctuator but also an operator, assignment operator more accurately, and is also used for variable initialization. Next is pound sign, which is used as a preprocessor directive. And lastly, double pound sign for token replacement and merging during preprocessor scanning phase. Don't worry friends, these words look complex but their meaning is much easier. And in your first C++ program only, you will get to know the meaning of 3 punctuators, that are pound sign, semicolon and braces. And these are very easy. Okay?
Hi friends, now let us come to constants. Constants are also known as literals. To understand them, I want you to consider a memory location whose name is X. Memory location is simply a storage space in computer's memory. Now let us assign 2 values to this X. First is 30 and then we change it to 50. Now we see that value of X is changing from 30 to 50. Means its value is varying. That's why X is termed as a variable, as its value can be changed. But in contrast, 30 and 50 have definite values. They cannot change but value of X is changing. That's why these are constants but X is a variable. So now I hope you understood the difference between variables and constants. We cannot change the value of a constant anywhere in the program, but we can do it with the variable. Okay? So let us study about them in details. Types of constants. Constants are of 2 types, primary and secondary. Primary constants are of 3 types, integer, real and character. And secondary constants are of 5 types. They are array, structure, union and enumeration. Again friends, there is a little problem like that topics like array, pointer that are covered under secondary constants are huge topics. So they will be covered in later sections. So at this stage, I'll limit our discussion only to the topics under primary constants. So let us study about primary constants. First one is integer constants. Friends, integer constants are simple whole numbers and they don't have any fractional part. Means number like 426 minus 8000 plus 782, these are all integers, right? But there should not be any decimal. If a decimal is there, then it will not be an integer constant, it will be a floating point constant, right? Floating point constant is the next topic. Integer constants may even contain a sign. It can either be plus or minus. And if a number has no sign, then it is assumed to be positive. An integer constant must have at least one digit and must not contain any decimal point. For compilers like Turbo C and Turbo C++, the range of these integer constants is from minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. And for compilers like GCC and Visual Studio, the range is, my god, from minus 2 arab 14 crore 74 lakhs 83,648 to plus 2 arab 14 crore 74 lakhs 83,647. Now friends, maybe some of you may have noticed this thing. Can you really guess why the value of the positive term is 1 less than that of the negative term? Yes, it's because of a zero in between. Now let us come to real constants or floating point constants. See these numbers like plus 325.34, 426.0, minus 32.76. These are floating point constants. You must have guessed the difference between integer and real constants. Real constants must have a decimal point. See, 46 is an integer constant, but 46.0 is a floating point constant. Now these constants are divided into two parts. First is fractional form and the other is exponential form. These numbers are actually in fractional form only. So if you write numbers like this, then this is the fractional form. But now these also can be written in exponential form. Exponential form is only used when either the numbers are too small or they are too large. For example, if in fractional form a number is written as 0.000342, then in exponential form it would be written as 3.42 capital or small e minus 4. And the part appearing before e is known as mantissa and part following e is known as exponent. 3.42 e minus 4 in normal arithmetic simply means 3.42 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. Remember friends, you can write e in both small and capital. So here are some valid real constants. You can see them. 152e small 05, and you can even write in capital 152 capital E 05. The mantissa can even be in decimal 1.52e07. Okay. Now let us have a look at some invalid real constants. First one is 172.E5. There is no digit after the decimal point. There should be a digit. So it is invalid. Next is 1.7e. Now no digit is specified after the exponent. So it is also invalid. Third one is 0.25 minus 7. There are no preceding digits before the decimal point. So again it is invalid. Lastly, we have character constants. It's a tiny topic friends. A character constant is a single alphabet, a single digit or a single special symbol enclosed within single inverted commas. Example, capital A which is an alphabet, 5 which is a digit and asterisk which is a special symbol. So these are all character constants. Okay, so now we are over with literals or constants. Okay friends. Hey friends, in this video we finally completed rules for naming identifiers, punctuators and literals. In our next video, we are going to study about our last token, that is operators. So for the time being, please subscribe my channel, okay, and keep on watching our videos.